As the wind howls through the night, an abandoned mansion looms on the edge of town, shrouded in darkness and rumors of hauntings. But when Sarah steps inside to prove the stories wrong, she unlocks a terrifying secret that no one should ever uncover. Strange whispers, chilling laughter, and a shadowy figure watching her every move. Sarah soon realizes that this is no ordinary house, and the spirits trapped inside have one rule: you're not supposed to be here. But what happens when you can't escape? The mansion stood at the edge of town, a decaying relic of its former glory. The once grand structure now felt suffocating, as though it were waiting for something to happen. The wind howled through the night, and yet inside there was only silence, unnatural and eerie. Sarah had heard the rumors, but she didn't believe them. Everyone said the mansion was haunted, that the spirits of the family who lived there still roamed the halls. But to Sarah, it was all just superstition. Armed with only a flashlight and her determination, she crossed the threshold of the mansion, eager to prove that ghosts didn't exist. As soon as she entered, a chill ran down her spine. The air felt thick, heavy, like it was pressing against her chest. She tried to shake it off, but unease crept into her thoughts. The walls, lined with faded paintings, seemed to watch her every move. The silence was suffocating, and every step she took echoed in the empty space. Her flashlight flickered, and for a moment, the mansion seemed to disappear into total darkness. When the light returned, she thought she saw something in the corner of her eye. A shadow, a figure that disappeared too quickly for her to focus on. Determined, she continued down the hallway, her footsteps careful but sure. Each room she passed was locked, the doors swollen with age. But the one at the end of the hall was different. It was slightly ajar. She pushed it open, revealing a room frozen in time. The wallpaper peeled, and dust covered everything. But it was the painting on the wall that caught her attention. A woman in a white gown stood in front of the mansion, her eyes following Sarah's every move. There was something in those eyes, something pleading, almost desperate. Sarah stepped closer, her hand trembling as she reached out to touch the glass. As soon as her fingers made contact, a sharp pain shot through her chest. She gasped, stumbling back, clutching her heart. The pain faded as quickly as it came, but the room felt colder now, and the oppressive silence grew heavier. "Who are you?" she whispered. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her. Sarah's heart raced. She spun around, but there was no way out. The room was now plunged into darkness again, and her flashlight refused to turn on. Panic set in. She was trapped. Then she heard it. A soft laugh. It was faint at first, like a whisper in the wind, but it grew louder, more distinct. A woman's laugh, hollow and eerie. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice shaky. The laughter stopped. The sound of slow, deliberate footsteps echoed through the room, growing louder and louder until they stopped right behind her. She spun around, but no one was there. Frantically, she reached for the door, but the handle wouldn't budge. The walls seemed to close in, pressing in on her. The temperature dropped even further, and Sarah's breath turned to mist in front of her. A soft whisper filled the room, clearer than before. "You shouldn't have come here. You're not supposed to be here." The voice was chilling, filled with malice, and Sarah's blood ran cold. She felt something behind her, something watching her. But when she turned, nothing was there. And then, the woman appeared. She She was an outline in the shadows, her face hidden. Her eyes glowed with a strange, unnatural light. The woman's mouth twisted into a smile that promised terror. "You should leave," the woman whispered, her voice echoing in Sarah's mind. But before Sarah could react, the room began to shrink, the walls moving inward. The woman's laughter grew louder, deafening. Sarah's vision blurred as the walls closed in, and a cold hand landed on her shoulder. She spun around, but the woman was gone. All that remained was darkness. The last thing Sarah heard was a single word, whispered softly into her ear. "Mine." And then there was nothing. The mansion stood silent, its doors locked, its windows dark. The wind howled outside, but inside there was only an empty room and a painting, its eyes still watching, waiting for the next curious soul to step inside.